There is no enemy more patient than weakness. It does not wait in the battle. It does not wait in the strike. It waits in the pause before the move, that tiny delay between thought and action, that flicker of doubt before the blade rises. That is where samurai fall. To walk the path of Bushido is not to chase peace. It is to seek what tempers you. Fire does not purify what it refuses to touch. And an undisciplined spirit cannot survive its own storms. Miyamoto Musashi understood this. Born in 1584, in Japan's age of endless war, he did not wait for strength to come to him. He forged it, in solitude, in silence, with sword and brush, day after day, stroke after stroke, until man and blade became one. In his final teaching, the Dakoto, written weeks before his death in 1645, he carved these words. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. Why? Because the self is noise. It screams for comfort, for praise, for escape. But the world does not care. The river does not stop for your excuses. The mountain does not bend to ease your fear. You must rise to meet it, or be crushed beneath it. This is not a story of glory. This is a reckoning. The story of a young samurai who had every advantage, yet learned his discipline was built on sand. And the Ronin master who taught him the 10 sacred practices that separate wanderers from warriors. 10 disciplines, forged not in theory, but in blood. These are not habits. These are weapons. They cut through confusion. They burn away softness. They leave only what is solid, unyielding, sharp, and immovable. Chapter 1, The Samurai Who Looked Perfect. Osaka Province. Spring, 1612. Teshi of the Hayashi clan, 22 years old, stepped into the dueling circle before 300 witnesses. Everything in his life had led to this moment. Born into nobility. Trained from age 7. 15 years of daily practice. Master of 3 sword schools. Perfect form. Flawless technique. His sensei's greatest student. His opponent. A wandering Ronin. No family. No school. No name worth mentioning. Dirty GI. Chipped wooden Bakken. Nothing impressive. The duel should have ended in seconds. Instead, it lasted 3 breaths. The signal was given. Teshi raised his sword, perfect stance, exactly as trained. The Ronin did nothing. Just stood there, blade lowered, eyes half closed. Teshi waited for the attack. None came. He waited for movement. Nothing. His mind raced. Why isn't he moving? Is it a trap? Should I strike? But Sensei said, never strike first unless. A flash. One strike, not to kill, but to disarm. Teshi's sword flew from his grip before he even saw the motion. 3 breaths. 1 strike. Defeat. The crowd fell silent. Then the whispers began. The Hayashi heir, beaten by a nameless Ronin. Teshi stood frozen, not from the loss, but from the truth it revealed. In the moment that mattered, 15 years of training vanished. His mind seized. His perfect form meant nothing. He had hesitated. And hesitation is death. That night, unable to face his family's shame, Teshi left Osaka. No destination. Just walking, away from the whispers, away from his father's disappointed eyes, away from everything he thought he was. 3 days later, deep in the mountains, he found a small shrine. And sitting there, as if waiting, was the Ronin who had defeated him. You, Teshi said, hand moving to his sword. Sit, the Ronin said calmly. If you still think fighting me is the answer, you learned nothing from our duel. You humiliated me. No. You humiliated yourself. I only revealed what was already there. Teshi's anger flared, but beneath it, curiosity. What do you mean? Your technique is flawless. Your form is perfect. You trained every day for 15 years. Yet in 3 breaths, you fell. Why? Because I'm faster? No. Because you hesitated. Your training is performance, beautiful to watch, useless under fire. The words cut deeper than any blade. Who are you? I am Kensei. A Ronin. A wanderer. But I once trained under Miyamoto Musashi himself. And if you are willing to unlearn everything you think you know, I will teach you what he taught me. Teach me what? The 10 disciplines. Not the forms you practice in your dojo. The truth beneath them. The difference between looking like a warrior and being one. Teshi knelt. I am willing. Good. We begin at dawn. And it begins with the hardest discipline of all. Chapter 2, the first discipline, rise without negotiation. Mountain Shrine. Before dawn. Teshi woke to Kensei's voice slicing through the dark. Stand. His body was wrecked from yesterday's climb. Every muscle screamed. He opened his mouth to protest. Stand. Something in the command left no room for debate. Teshi stood. Every morning in your dojo, how did you wake? My attendant called me at the hour of the tiger, and I would lie there, debating whether to rise, checking if my body felt ready, wondering if I truly needed to train that day. Yes, Kensei said. Even with duty and honor pressing on you, you negotiated. This is the first discipline, rise without negotiation. A blade does not warm up before it cuts. The sun does not vote before it rises. Why do you treat your warrior's path like an option? Each dawn is a battle between who you were yesterday, and who you choose to become today. Train the act of beginning. Make it sacred. Immediate. No thought. No checking the body. No consulting the mood. Move. Because the man who cannot win the first moment, will not win the hour. And the man who loses the hour, loses the day. Kensei rose in one fluid motion, no hesitation, no debate. Try. It took Teshi 30 attempts before he could stand without the inner argument. Tomorrow, you wake yourself. No attendant. No drum. You rise when the warrior inside commands it. Without negotiation. Without thought. This is where discipline begins, not in the grand gesture, but in the first motion of the day. Master this, and everything else becomes possible. Chapter 3, the second discipline, move without emotion. Day 7. Mountain Training Grounds. For 6 days, Teshi had practiced rising without negotiation. It was harder than any sword form. On the 7th day, Kensei handed him a bakken. Hold your stance. Defend against my words. Your words. Yes. Ready? Teshi assumed his perfect stance. Your family is ashamed of you. Your father regrets ever calling you son. Your sensei tells everyone you were his greatest failure. The dojo laughs at your name. You are a disgrace to the Hayashi clan. Rage exploded in Teshi's chest. His jaw clenched. Grip tightened until knuckles went white. His stance shifted forward, aggressive, ready to strike. Kensei lowered his weapon. See? Emotion controls you. You insulted my family. I spoke words. You gave them power by reacting. In a real duel, an opponent will insult you to provoke anger. Angry men fight recklessly. Reckless men die. Kensei circled him. This is the second discipline, move without emotion. You do not need to feel like moving, to move. You do not need to feel ready, to act. The blade cuts not because it wants to, but because it must. Musashi faced dozens who wanted him dead. He watched their anger sharpen their swings, and dull their clarity. He did not swing hardest. He swung precisely. Because he was not there to win emotionally. He was there to win completely. Emotions are clouds, they swirl, shift, expand, vanish. They carry motion, not truth. If your hand obeys the storm in your chest, you are no longer the warrior. You are its servant. Over the next days, Kensei tested him relentlessly, insults, provocations, sudden strikes. Each time emotion flared, Teshi learned to observe it, without obeying it. Feel the rage. Acknowledge it. But act through it, not from it. The man who lashes out is already defeated. The man who hesitates from fear of his anger is already dead. The man who feels everything yet moves independent of feeling, becomes unstoppable. By the 10th day, Teshi stood in perfect calm while Kensei screamed insults. The emotions rose, but they no longer commanded his sword. Good, Kensei said. Now you are ready for the discipline that separates greatness from dreams. Chapter 4, the third discipline, train when you don't want to. Month 2. A morning of pouring rain. The monsoon had arrived. Rain fell in sheets. Wind howled. Cold bit through thin clothing. Teshi woke before dawn, as trained. But his body screamed resistance. Muscles ached from yesterday. The cold was brutal. Surfaces slick. A voice whispered, "One day off won't hurt. You've trained weeks straight." Even Kensei would understand. He almost stayed inside. Then he remembered. The training you do when you want to, means nothing. The training you do when you don't, builds the warrior. Teshi stood. Dressed. Walked into the freezing rain. Kensei was already there, soaked, moving through forms as if the storm didn't exist. He saw Teshi and nodded. Said nothing. Just continued. They trained 3 hours. No shelter. No complaints. Only movement. When they stopped, Kensei spoke. This is the third discipline, train when you don't want to. Anyone can train when inspired. Anyone can act when convenient. But the path only hardens under pressure, and pressure never asks permission. Musashi did not become invincible in comfort. He slept in caves. Practiced in rain. Sparred until hands bled. No teacher. No audience. Only relentless discipline. There is no final exam for strength, only today's task, done or not done. And tomorrow asks again. You came today when every part of you wanted warmth and rest. That mattered more than any technique. You do not rise for applause. You do not sweat for inspiration. You rise because the training is the path, not the goal. The path itself. Skip it, and you skip the way. Over the weeks, Teshi learned, discipline in comfort is just routine. True discipline emerges when every fiber screams quit, and you continue anyway. Chapter 5, Disciplines 4 to 6, Sharpening the Blade. The fourth discipline, eliminate the unnecessary. Month 3. Kensei entered Teshi's small hut. Eyed the possessions from Osaka, family crests, fine clothes, multiple swords, books, mementos. The warrior's mind is not overwhelmed because it is weak. It is overwhelmed because it is cluttered. This is the fourth discipline, eliminate the unnecessary. Musashi wandered with almost nothing, one sword, simple clothes, rice. He wrote, do not have preferences, not from hating comfort, but because preference becomes attachment, and attachment becomes weakness. When your mind is filled with status and identity, you cannot see what truly matters. The warrior must always see clearly. Kensei made Teshi reduce everything to a small cloth bundle, one sword, one change of clothes, a cup. Nothing else. Every object you keep, ask, does this make me sharper? Does this anchor me? Does this serve the path? If not, it is weight. And weight slows the blade. The result was instant. Less to protect. Less to maintain. Mind clearer. Movements faster. Focus sharper. The fifth discipline, sit with the pain. Week 13. During sparring, Teshi took a hard strike to the ribs, deep, aching pain. Breathing hurt. Instinct, stop. Rest. Seek comfort. Kensei, sit. Do not move. Do not treat it. Just sit with the pain. This is the fifth discipline, sit with the pain. Do not flee it. Pain is not the enemy. It is the invitation, to grow, to see, to separate fleeting from eternal. Musashi did not run from pain. He carved it into ink. Turned it into form. He fought hunger, isolation, loss. The man who cannot sit with pain will betray himself to avoid it, fold, numb, run in circles. But the one who sits still becomes stone, solid in understanding. Teshi sat 2 hours. Pain screamed. Mind begged to escape. But he remained. And something shifted. Pain was still there, but no longer master. Just sensation. Information. The sixth discipline, guard your focus like a fortress. Month 4. During meditation, Teshi's mind wandered, family, shame, what others thought. Kensei struck the ground with his staff. Your attention is the front gate of your mind. Leave it unguarded, and you are conquered before raising your sword. This is the sixth discipline, guard your focus like a fortress. The undisciplined mind scatters, pulled by every sound, memory, fear. Musashi wrote, perceive that which cannot be seen with the eye. You cannot do this distracted, chasing past defeats or future fears. The sword is held with 2 hands. So is attention. No split grip. If you chase 10 birds, you catch none. Split your mind, and you split your power. Kensei taught single-pointed focus. When eating, only eating. When walking, only walking. When striking, only the strike. Each time you protect attention, you thicken the walls. Behind them, power returns, not from doing more, but leaking less. Chapter 6, Disciplines 7-9, The Inner Fortress. The seventh discipline, live without needing approval. Month 5. Traveling samurai passed through. Recognized Teshi. Laughed at his defeat. Old Teshi would have crumbled, needed to prove himself, challenged them. New Teshi continued training, unbothered. Kensei, this is the seventh discipline, live without needing approval. The need to be seen is the enemy of inner strength. As long as you depend on others' respect, you are owned by them. Train in shadow so when light finds you, you no longer need it. Musashi walked alone, not for show, but because he refused to bend his path for company. Would you still train if no one ever knew? Still walk this path with no honor? Still choose right if all called it wrong? If no, you are performing. Still chained. In obscurity, Teshi found purpose deeper than honor. The eighth discipline, control all things. One evening, discipline is not switched on in training and off at meals. This is the eighth discipline, control eating, speaking, resting. The man who sharpens his sword but lets his tongue run wild is decorated, not disciplined. Before every meal, does this serve the path, or escape? Before every word, does this sharpen clarity, or waste breath? Even in rest, remain sovereign. Enter sleep with the same presence as combat. Teshi learned to eat simply, speak rarely, sleep structured. You know a man by how he eats when hungry, speaks when angry, rests when exhausted, not just how he moves under eyes. Discipline touches everything. The ninth discipline, accept death daily. Month 6. Kensei took Teshi to a cliff edge, 100-foot drop to rocks. Stand at the edge. Heart racing, Teshi looked down. This is the ninth discipline, accept death daily. The man who fears death fears life. Every hesitation, every excuse, is refusal to accept time is not guaranteed. Musashi, think of death morning and evening, not to create fear, but destroy it. You were promised one thing, you will die. Will you meet it with regret, or steel in your spine? When you accept death, lesser fears dissolve. You have nothing left to lose. From that day, Teshi woke thinking, this may be my last dawn. Let it be the right one. Procrastination vanished. Actions became immediate. Chapter 7, the 10th discipline, hold the line no matter what. Month 7. The ultimate test. 7 bandits attacked the shrine, seeking food, valuables. 7 against 2. Overwhelming odds. Every instinct screamed, run. Negotiate. Kensei, this is why we trained. Hold the line. This is the 10th discipline, hold the line no matter what. Not when easy. Not when certain of victory. Hold it when everything screams flee, when no one would blame you. What you do when it costs most, reveals what you are. Musashi held the line, outnumbered, wood against steel, death circling. He never broke. The bandits charged. Teshi's training took over, all 10 disciplines at once. Rose without negotiation. Moved instantly. No hesitation. Without emotion, fear rose, but didn't rule. Trained body responded from repetition. No waste. Pure efficiency. Sat with pain, took a cut, didn't flinch. Complete focus, saw only what mattered. No approval needed, fought for the path. Total control, ate pain like rice. Spoke with blade. Death accepted, moved free. Nothing to lose. Held the line. Did not retreat one step. Dust settled. 3 bandits down. 4 fled. Teshi and Kensei stood exactly where they began. Kensei looked at him, something like pride. Now you understand. The 10 disciplines are not separate. They are one blade, forged from 10 folds of steel. Together, you become unbreakable by circumstance. Chapter 8, the student becomes the teacher. Spring 1613. 1 year later. Teshi stood at the same shrine, transformed. A young samurai appeared, 19, lost, broken, carrying the weight of defeat despite every advantage. Teshi recognized the look instantly. You, the youth said. Are you Kensei's student? I was. Now I am simply Teshi. I heard you were defeated, yet you're still here. Still training. How? Because defeat is not failure. Quitting is. Did you come to quit, or to learn? The youth knelt. Teach me. Teshi glanced at Kensei watching from shade. The old Ronin nodded. What is your name? Hiroaki. Hiroaki, we begin at dawn. And it begins with the hardest discipline of all, rising without negotiation. The first battle every warrior wins, is before he even picks up the sword. As he spoke, Teshi realized, these were no longer Kensei's words, or Musashi's. They were truth, timeless, passed through centuries of warriors. Chapter 9, the final wisdom. That evening, Kensei called Teshi aside. Tomorrow I leave. Why? My work here is complete. You came as a performer. You leave as a warrior. The path continues, but you walk it alone now. There's still so much I don't know. There always will be. That's not the point. The point is, do you need me anymore? Teshi realized he didn't. The 10 disciplines lived in him now, as bone, breath, reflex. They are not secrets, Kensei said. They are in Musashi's texts, available to all. But access is not mastery. Application is. You applied them daily, especially when unwanted. That forged you into someone circumstance cannot break. Kensei placed a hand on his shoulder. This lineage passes master to student, Musashi to me to you, you to the next. We preserve it not as history, but as living fire. For those whose discipline looks beautiful but rings hollow, walk this path with us. Forge yourself in the same fire that forged the greatest warriors. Teshi bowed deeply. Where will you go? To find the next one who has everything, except what matters. Kensei smiled, walked into the mountains, and vanished. Teshi stood alone, but not truly alone. The disciplines lived in him. The path stretched ahead. And somewhere, a young samurai was already walking toward this shrine. The cycle continues, as it always has. As it always will. 10 years later, 1623. Teshi, now 32, was known across provinces, not for boasting, but for being undefeatable. 17 duels. 17 victories. Not from superior technique, but unbreakable discipline. Yet victories meant little. What mattered was the path, the daily practice. Young samurai came to learn. He taught them the same 10 disciplines. Rise without negotiation. Move without emotion. Train when you don't want to. Eliminate the unnecessary. Sit with the pain. Guard your focus like a fortress. Live without needing approval. Control all things. Accept death daily. Hold the line no matter what. These were not just his teachings. They were Kensei's. Musashi's. Every master who walked the warrior path. One evening in meditation, Teshi reflected. From the humiliated samurai who froze in 3 breaths. To the man who faced 7 bandits without flinching. The difference was not talent. Not technique. Not even courage. It was discipline, daily, unwanted, unbreakable. After fire, hunger, silence, shame, unhealed cuts, mornings that felt like death. One thing mattered: did you remain? Not perfect. Not untouched. Just standing, when the world said fall. Continuing, when everything screamed quit. Choosing the blade, when comfort called. That is the mark of the warrior. Not the sword. Not victories. Not titles. But this, he remained. Musashi remained, through 61 duels, exile, isolation. When death came at 62, he faced it as he faced life, no gap between word and stance. The fire burned until the end. Let your fire stay lit. Not for others. For the path. Not to shine, to burn with purpose. When days are dull, burn. When people leave, burn. When results don't show, burn. Mastery is not earned once. It is protected daily. You are the fire now. And the world cannot unmake it. Walk not for approval. Not for arrival. But because the path is yours. And the fire walks with you forever.